Hey everyone! So XRP's price has dipped a little bit today. We're sitting at a 24-hour low of $2.88. But here's the thing that absolutely blows my mind. I can actually say it's down to $2.88, and that feels incredible. Why? Because for almost 8 years of holding XRP, I've been used to seeing it hover around 30 cents, give or take. So when I say we need to get some perspective here, the fact that I'm even talking about XRP being down to $2.88, that doesn't bother me one bit. Yes, XRP is down right now, but stick with me, because what I'm about to show you will get you excited. There are still reputable chart analysts out there with broad expectations that XRP is going to absolutely rocket to double-digit prices. I'm talking about a couple of analysts who are both calling for 27 XRP. Here's what's really happening. We're just seeing normal market volatility. XRP being down doesn't mean the fundamentals have gotten worse. Actually, they've never been stronger in this asset's entire 13-year history. Never. So why is XRP down? Simple. The whole market's down. And here's something you might have heard before. Crypto is a highly volatile asset class. Shocking, I know. It always has been. And while it won't always be this way, that's exactly where we are right now. But here's the beautiful part. This volatility is precisely why we have massive upside opportunities. Look, I get it. Nobody likes seeing the volatility go down. But the overall trend? That's still pointing up. This is completely normal, and we are not done yet. Listen to me on this. Yes, we're getting toward the end of this market cycle chronologically, but that last 10%? That's where the absolute fireworks happen with price action. That's what we're heading toward. If you're feeling fearful or worried right now, asking yourself, what's going on with these prices? It's just normal volatility.
It doesn't need some massive trigger every single time. Sometimes the market is just being volatile because that's what markets do. And that's perfectly fine. The best is definitely still ahead of us. So, sure, XRP's price is down a bit as I'm recording this, but it's going to rally tremendously. I have incredibly strong conviction that this is exactly what's going to happen. Let's look at some numbers. Bitcoin's down to $114,554. Now check out this 24-hour chart for XRP. We're at that $2.88 low I mentioned earlier. But here's what's really interesting. Look at Bitcoin's 24-hour chart. Notice anything? As I flip between these two charts, they're literally the same chart. This perfectly illustrates my point. Yes, XRP is down, but it has absolutely nothing to do with XRP's fundamentals. There's nothing XRP specific that caused this drop. It's the entire market moving together. Look at these charts. They're identical. The whole asset class moves in tandem.
This is exactly why you shouldn't be fearful right now. This upward trend that's been building for 16 years, it's not over. It never makes sense to panic just because of volatility. We're here for the volatility. We're right about XRP making sense as an early winner in the crypto space. We're right that crypto is here to stay. So keep your head straight and remember, patience and holding are what create wealth in this space. If you understand that simple truth, you don't have to stress about the short-term price movements we're seeing today. Stay strong, stay focused, and remember why we're here. Now, let me tell you about someone who really gets this. Raoul Pal, former Goldman Sachs executive. This guy is the founder and CEO of Global Macro Investor and Real Vision, and he's become one of the most respected figures in all of crypto. We're talking about someone with a well-deserved 1.2 million followers. Here's why Raoul is so important to understand. He's the reason I learned about Global M2 being a leading indicator for crypto markets. And this isn't just theory, it's a fact that Bitcoin follows Global M2 directionally about 90% of the time, and it has for over a decade. That's incredible consistency. Now, there's no single metric that tells the whole story, but this is about as close as you're going to get. Combine Global M2 with business cycle analysis, and you've got your roadmap. Here's the kicker. Bitcoin typically lags Global M2 by about 3 months, and we know M2 is headed higher. When you adjust for that lag and overlay those charts, Bitcoin is about to rocket way, way higher. And remember, the entire crypto asset class moves together. Just a few hours ago at 9:48 p.m., Raoul posted something simple but powerful. Patience is key to everything and no leverage. I love that he added that last part. He posted this because he knows people are getting scared. This came after the entire crypto market not just XRP, had already taken a big hit. But here's the truth. Patience is absolutely required in this game. You literally get paid to wait. Look, you can't control when the market moves, so focus on controlling what you can and make peace with that. It's actually enough. Either you have exposure when the market takes off or you don't. If you're doing your part by having broad exposure to crypto, and I believe XRP should absolutely be a healthy part of that mix, though that's just my humble opinion, you do whatever you want. Then you just wait for things to happen. That's literally it. You don't need to buy expensive courses. You can choose to build wealth by having broad crypto exposure, holding, and then doing nothing. It's actually easy when you understand why this asset class deserves to be here for the long haul. Think about it. Actual utility, business models that couldn't exist before, the freedom that crypto creates. When you truly understand these fundamentals, you'll sleep easy at night. Honestly, I wouldn't be able to sleep if I didn't have exposure to XRP and the other cryptos I hold. Now, here's another brilliant insight from Julian Biddle. He's the head of macro research at Global Macro Investor. This guy is absolutely fantastic and works closely with Raoul Pal. I actually shared this post several days ago when it first came out on September 18th. Julian posted just 2 words, not even close. But the chart tells an incredible story. You can see in pink, that's Bitcoin's price going all the way back to crypto's beginning, around 2010. The black line, that's Bitcoin's cycle top finder. This is proprietary analysis, but whatever data they're feeding into this model has consistently and accurately shown when Bitcoin hits cycle peaks, going back to the very beginning. And as you can see, we are nowhere near that peak yet. This makes perfect sense because we haven't seen Bitcoin follow that global M2 indicator yet. And here's the thing, we haven't seen the business cycle flip either. So all of this actually makes complete sense. Now here's why I'm bringing this up again. Raoul Pal literally reposted this tonight. His conviction isn't shaken just because we're seeing a little negative volatility in crypto. The best is absolutely still ahead, folks. Now look, I'm not claiming I literally know this for sure. I always admit I don't speak in absolutes. I mean, I almost never do, and I'm not starting now. But I have incredibly strong conviction that what's most probable is we're heading for a gigantic blow-off top. With euphoria like we haven't seen since 2017, I think it's going to absolutely dwarf what happened last cycle. Here's some validation from chart analyst Matthew Hyland, who's pointing out that this is just normal price action. He posted this in the evening as prices were already dropping. Bitcoin was at $115,576 at the time, so it was down a bit. But here's what he said. This is a retest of a breakout for Bitcoin. Q3 winding down, Q4 is setting up. See? He gets it. Chart analysts who've been around for more than 5 minutes look at this and go, oh yeah, here's what's happening. It's pretty normal stuff, not a time to be afraid. And of course, XRP just follows along directionally, which it does the vast majority of the time. Normal market behavior. Now here's something really exciting from Altcoin Gordon, one of the most respected analysts in the space with 810,000 followers on X. He's highlighting something that several analysts I follow have been noticing, including the blockchain backer, who was actually the first analyst I ever saw talking about this. They're all focused on the Russell 2000. That's an index tracking small cap stocks. This is crucial because as you move further out on the risk curve, small caps being riskier than large caps, it shows increased appetite for riskier assets. And historically, when that happens, that's exactly when altcoins go absolutely crazy in the crypto market. Check this out. He shows the Russell 2000 on the left and Total 3 on the right. Total 3 tracks the top 125 coins by market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Notice anything? They're literally the same pattern. When Russell 2000 moves, so do our altcoins. And guess what? XRP is right in there. It's about to go absolutely ballistic. Look at this beautiful correlation. On Sunday, he wrote, Russell 2000 hit a new all-time high. You have no idea how bullish this is for alts. Alt season incoming. Actually, you know what? That's not quite right. I know exactly how bullish this is for altcoins. His sentiment is spot on. This is ridiculously bullish. We have been waiting literally almost 4 years for this to happen. When the Russell 2000 hit that new all-time high this past week, I highlighted it the very day it happened. Now we just need to see it go into full price discovery mode, and honestly, I think that's just a matter of time. This is not going to be the first cycle where we don't get an alt season. That's just not happening. Think about it logically. Are humans suddenly no longer interested in maximizing profit? Because that's exactly what it would mean if alt season didn't happen. You're telling me people are going to keep all their profits in Bitcoin and not move them into altcoins that haven't run yet? Come on, we're the same humans with the same DNA participating in the same asset class. The idea that we're suddenly not interested in maximizing profit? Get out of here, that's silly nonsense. Of course humans are going to chase those gains. Here's some solid perspective from chart analyst Credible Crypto. Someone named Crypto Y wrote, I have a very bad mental state now, Credi. You think we can get to at least $120,000 Bitcoin this year? Well, we already have, but I guess he means getting back up to it. Fair question. Look, people get hit in their feelings when prices go down. Number go down, net worth down. Oh my God, my feelings. Okay, calm down. Here's what Credible Crypto said, and I'm so glad he addressed this. A reminder that literally nothing has changed on the higher time frame, meaning the big picture. In fact, we haven't even broken $105,000, which was the first significant price level that would have invalidated the most bullish scenario. Don't let the chop get to you. Nothing has changed over the last few weeks. Folks, this guy is one of the absolute best analysts in all of crypto. Well-deserved 476,000 followers on X. He's been here forever, and guess what? He's still calling for XRP to peak this market cycle somewhere between $20 to $30. Now, I don't make price predictions. I don't know if that's exactly right, but I know it's not crazy. 20 to 30 XRP this cycle? That's absolutely possible, and lots of other analysts agree this is totally within reality. Here's a perfect example. Chart analyst Greg Crypto posted on Sunday. The bullish rectangular formation is loading. You can see the schematic of that particular pattern right there. He's saying that's what's setting up for XRP right now, targeting literally $27. Look at this pattern. You get the first leg up for the market cycle, and that definitely happened in November 2024. Then you move sideways for a period, then you get that second explosive leg up targeting $27. This is historically normal. Last cycle, you got one exciting leg up in price action, then you moved sideways for about half a year or maybe a bit more. Then you got that second burst. The timing doesn't have to be identical, but structurally, if history rhymes, and it tends to, this is exactly how it plays out. So far, it has played out structurally just like that. It's strikingly similar. We'll see what happens next. Now, here's a funny one. Barry C. wrote XRP to $1,000. Look, no offense to anyone who believes that, but that's just silly. It's not happening. XRP is not going to $1,000. But Chart Nerd reposted it with a much more realistic take. XRP to $27. So he agrees with Greg Crypto. The consensus among serious analysts is clear. We're looking at some serious upside potential here. And I totally agree with this realistic outlook. Now, I'm not in the price prediction game. I admit I don't know exactly where price is going. But big picture, I believe we're going way, way higher than where we are now. Obviously, I believe that, or I wouldn't own XRP after almost 8 years. I wouldn't still be here if I didn't genuinely believe in this asset. That $20 to $27 range seems way more in line with reality. And you know what? That would be absolutely wild. Do you understand where XRP bottomed this market cycle? In June 2022, XRP hit its cycle low at 28 cents. If XRP goes from 28 cents to $27, that's a monster run over just a few years. That is huge and will be wildly life-changing for so many people. We don't need fantasy numbers like XRP going to $1,000, especially not this cycle. That's just silliness, in my honest opinion. I don't mean to insult anyone. I just don't think that makes any sense whatsoever. Here's a post from chart analyst Harry at Geraldo XRP. This guy is legendary in the XRP community. He called the beginning of what was previously the biggest run in XRP history back in December 2017, when it ran from about 20 cents up to $3.35. He called the bottom and the top. What did he say on Sunday? XRP about to make a move higher, in my opinion. And by the way, tons of analysts have been calling for this. The fact that we happen to be down on a Sunday? Honestly, what happens price-wise on Sunday almost never matters. Whether it's pumping or dumping, unless something truly terrible happened, which is almost never the case. Sunday price action just doesn't matter. He's calling for a move higher in the short term, and he thinks that's what's most probable. I've seen this sentiment from countless analysts. Here's something fascinating from Charting Guy, also from Sunday. He wrote XRP with BNB Fractal, and this comparison has been incredible to watch. He's been comparing XRP to BNB, Binance Coin, for some time, and he's also been expecting BNB to rocket. And oh my god, it absolutely has. BNB just hit another all-time high within the last 24 hours. It's currently sitting at $1,017 with a 24-hour high of $1,082. That's a brand new all-time high. Here's the kicker. Back on December 3rd, 2024, he wrote, BNB to $1,000. At the time, Binance Coin was at $618. He was calling for a massive increase, and guess what? We just had to wait a little bit, and it happened. As he posted Sunday, Binance 618 to 1,060. Just had to wait 10 months. Patience is always rewarded in crypto. You know what that sounds like? Exactly what Raoul Pal wrote. Patience truly is everything in this space. If the BNB fractal plays out for XRP like this analyst has been tracking, we could be in for something absolutely incredible. And remember what both these experts are saying. Patience is key to everything and no leverage. Folks, please, no leverage? You do not need leverage. If the thousands of percentage gains you can get in crypto isn't enough for you and you need to spice it up with leverage, get your head checked. You don't need to add that unnecessary risk to get life-changing wealth. It's ridiculous. So there's Raoul Pal calling for patience and Charting Guy saying patience is always rewarded in crypto. That's exactly how it works. That is absolutely how this game works. What he's showing with this XRP with BNB fractal is that it's playing out exactly the same way. You had a big pump, then it moves sideways, and if the pattern holds, you're going to see a massive move for XRP. This is the type of incredible thing that can happen in crypto. Now, if you were just holding BNB and checking it day in and day out during that sideways action, it probably would have shattered your will to live. The price just moved sideways forever. That's what markets do. It's a matter of fact. But look what happened. I just showed you BNB already went through this exact pattern and then started rocketing higher. So don't be surprised when XRP one day starts going crazy too. I don't pretend to know when, I never do, but directionally it's obvious. That makes way more sense than everything just crumbling to zero. You just have to be patient. It's not rocket science. That's how this works, folks. Here's another post from chart analyst Ether Nasal. Don't sleep on XRP, second bull round is coming. So there's yet another analyst saying the same thing. This was from September 18th. I think I shared this in a previous video, but I wanted to highlight that tons of analysts are saying this. We had our first major leg up back in 2024. XRP broke out of that symmetrical triangle in July, hit a new all-time high, then had a bit of sideways price action. But this thing's going to move and he's targeting over $10 just in this chart alone. Then there's chart analyst Zinnia, who wrote just a few days ago, XRP is showing signs of a bigger move. Here's another analyst who agrees. And just because the price goes down in the short term doesn't mean the higher time frame analysis is broken. That's not how this works. He says XRP is showing signs of a bigger move. A bull flag breakout already puts $5 plus in play, while a larger pattern stretching back to 2024 hints at $15. Everything's fine, folks. Just be patient a little bit longer. Look, as I'm wrapping up this video, XRP and the whole market are falling even more. It doesn't matter. Even if prices are lower by the time you're watching this, it does not matter. You're listening to somebody who has been through literally every single up and down for XRP since day one. I've never sold a single XRP in my life. I first bought XRP on November 17th, 2017, and I've been through every single rise and fall since then. I didn't know when all those ups and downs were going to happen. I just always held for good reason, with strong conviction that the trend would be upward. So if you understand all of this, none of the current price action matters. Everything is fine. Yeah. XRP is down to $2.76. Bitcoin's down to $112,952. Ethereum's at $4,151. Binance Coin dropped to $1,011. Everything's going down right now. So what? So freaking what? It doesn't matter. The market is still in prime position. This thing is so teed up, it absolutely is. At some point in the future, perhaps sooner than later, maybe even today, I don't pretend to know, you're going to see a lot of green. You're going to see prices rocket, and either you're going to have exposure to the market when that happens, or you're not. I can tell you for sure that when that happens, not if, but when, I will have exposure because I'm taking zero action based on this price movement. I'm literally doing nothing. The price went down, my net worth is lower as a result, and I don't give a damn. It doesn't matter. I am doing literally nothing. I've been doing nothing for almost 8 freaking years, and my net worth is so much higher than it would have been if I had done something. If I had tried to be clever, my net worth wouldn't be as high as it is right now. I would have messed it up. But humans have this inclination. I gotta tinker with my positions. Oh, it's going down. I should sell something. This looks bad. Stop it. Just stop. You want me to be honest with you? You are the greatest risk to getting life-changing wealth in crypto. You are. You yourself are your own biggest risk because humans have shown time and again that most people feel like they need to do something when the obvious best move is to do literally nothing. History keeps showing us this. The fundamentals for XRP have never been stronger. This bad boy is going to run. We are not done. The market cycle is not over. Global liquidity leads Bitcoin and the entire crypto asset class, including XRP, and it shows you should expect higher prices. The business cycle, I keep emphasizing this recently for good reason, hasn't even flipped to show we're entering any kind of top phase. We're not seeing any top indicators flip either. There are about 30 of them listed on CoinMarketCap that I highlighted recently, and literally none of them have flipped. This is not a time to be afraid. This is a time to be excited, folks. Again, I don't know what the price will be by the time you're watching this, but whether it's lower or higher, it just doesn't matter. Either you're going to have exposure when the market rockets or you're not. I'm going to be here though, are you? If this perspective helped calm your nerves or gave you confidence, smash that like button and subscribe for more reality checks during these volatile times. The best is still ahead of us.